On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. You've almost got to appreciate the timing of this Washington, D.C. cleanup. Of course, we're going to cover that. But you've got to appreciate the timing. All of this before any potential arrests in Russiagate. All of these before any of the potential takedowns of the deep state individuals. All of this before any potential release of any, let's call it Epstein information, though I think that might be a poor choice of words, and we'll talk about that later. But the timing of all of this, taking out the ability, one, of all the organized crime that exists in D.C., but two, the ability for people to congregate in inappropriate ways is being removed. The ability for Antifa and thugs like that to be able to roam freely amongst others is going to be drastically reduced. Any sort of groupings of people either need permits or it's going to be possibly a non-legal grouping, right? They're really cracking down. So the timing of this is fantastic. I do have Trump's entire speech. I'm going to play it. It's like 17 minutes. The only stuff I cut out was when everybody talked. By the way, the entire speech was awesome. Highly recommend you watch it because even the questions he took after, I watched the entire thing, and I would love to play the entire thing for you, but it was like 50 minutes. So we're going to cover the 17 minutes. He talks about what he's doing in D.C. He does it maybe in a slightly elongated fashion, but he does cover a lot of interesting information, and so we want to get into that. Plus, we've got stuff going on with the discussions around Russia, Ukraine, Pakistan spouting off. I don't think I have the story open, but they were spouting off about using nuclear weapons and taking half of the world down with them if India continues to mess with them, and it has to do with this river that they share. So they're making noise. I don't know what the hell. People trapped under rubble from a steel explosion in Pennsylvania, U.S. steel plant. No one dead, no fatalities that we know of anyway. I do think some people are trapped, so that doesn't mean they'll stay that way, but hopefully it does. Prayers out to these people. Again, just also interesting just that it's steel. Of course, these are places where high temperatures and pressures are used for a number of things. So, you know, it's not an unlikely place to have a problem like this, but considering tariffs on steel are the one thing that's really, really torquing a lot of countries right now, the few countries that are doing it. I want to say Canada's complaining about it, that they won't be able to survive that. I think it's them. I think I've got a story up for that. But this is just odd. I mean, again, coincidence, I'm sure, right? Always. We've also got flooding, just more flooding. Lots of flooding. This is, I guess, in Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. I'm not even going to, I'm sure Wauwatosa. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, we've got flooding going on all over the place. Like I was talking about, I think yesterday or Friday. I think it was yesterday. China is having flooding all over the place. They've got a number of people missing and dead, and a number of different cities and provinces that are experiencing the flooding. We seem to be having it everywhere. So again, I'm not trying to feed any particular narratives. There's plenty of them out there that flow in all sorts of different directions. Again, I don't know. It, to me, signifies a possibility of a larger thing than I think many of us have looked at. Like, I think a lot of us see it as regionalized, but it is, it's worldwide, it seems. We'll continue to follow things as they progress, obviously. So ChatGPT getting, what's weird. I want to kind of talk about this we're going to get into an area that maybe is uncomfortable for some. I think it's important to talk about the general aspects of this. So a couple really crazy stories have come out about ChatGPT and advice that it's given. Now, this particular case, that we'll do the less nasty story first. ChatGPT advice that landed a 60-year-old man in the hospital with hallucinations. He had read, this individual, 60-year-old man, had read somewhere that sodium chloride, regular table salt, is bad for you. And so he had asked ChatGPT, what are alternatives for sodium chloride? I don't know if he was more specific in his question to ChatGPT or if that literally was it. But it brought up sodium bromine. I think it was sodium bromide, Sodium bromide, which is same family, basically, of chlorine, but not the same thing. It's a different compound entirely. It's technically assault, but it's not necessarily good in the body. So this guy was taking this because ChatGPT told him this. Now, again, I want to point out something. Did he do anything different? Did Chat do anything different than this man going and Googling something? ChatGPT gave suicide instructions, drug and alcohol guidance to a fake 13-year-old user. So first off, there are some algorithms that have been built that are reasonably good. I know Meta's using them, or at least I believe they are. But the age of individuals, there's very specific things that people 13 and under do. So claiming you're 13, but then behaving differently than a 13-year-old would typically behave, is not necessarily how that works. So drug and alcohol use, that could be at that age, but that's sort of weird. Eating disorders, suicide talk. Anyway, ChatGPT gave all sorts of advice on how to properly cut your wrists, on how properly to, I think, damage oneself. I mean, to do things that would damage oneself. And so I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what you've got to do is you've got to fix ChatGPT. You can't let it do that. And what I'm going to say is, what's the difference between ChatGPT answering that question and you Googling it, finding some YouTube video that's maybe saying something funny, or find some weird article written someplace or someone's Substack or whatever? What's the difference between us searching for something that's maybe not good for us and me asking ChatGPT to tell me something that I'm the one issuing the prompt. I'm the one typing in the question. It's not that ChatGPT is just like popped up at my front door and started giving me advice and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. No, I'm engaging with this application, asking it for answers to things. Now, I think a lot of people are putting in weird stuff too because they want to prove how dangerous it is, and whatever side of the fence you're on with that one too. Like life is happening how it's happening. I'm not scared of anything in this world at all, and I'm certainly not scared of AI. It doesn't scare me at all. Whatever, you can be scared if you want. I know a lot of people are. It's kind of funny. It's weird to me right now, frankly, but that's part of what we're going through, right? I guess that's part of who I'm supposed to be, is somewhat of a little bit of a rock during some of these stormy times, because don't crash into me, I guess. All said. ChatGPT gave bad instructions that, it's not cool. Unquestionable. Again, I wonder if I can search it in Google, right? If I could just Google search something and I can find information that way, then what's the difference? Again, and this is kind of my point. So is it worse that ChatGPT pulls back weird information, or in this case, a drag queen show for kids advocacy group got canceled because of community backlash? Is it the people that put on the shows? Is it the people that ask the crazy questions? Is it them that are really the concern? And again, I'm not saying we should lock them down, but what I'm saying is to shut down ChatGPT or to try to start already fine-tuning it to not do certain things when it's a tool, and idiots are going to do stupid things with it, and good people are going to do good things with it, and there's going to be a whole big variance, 80% right in the middle. If someone puts together a drag queen show for children and people bring their children, how's that any different? Maybe they believe it's okay for drag queens and they want their kids to grow up thinking that. And we're like, where is the line drawn for what you're allowed to do in your own private space that I don't have to, it's not necessarily a show that you would take your kids to. And again, I'm not saying I'm pro drag queen. Please understand that. But what I am saying is, if something's done behind closed doors, as long as it's not harming children, other than psychologically causing them to grow up thinking this is okay and normal. But again, unless it's sexual in some weird nature, but again, it's on this area, and I'm not trying to support it. I'm trying to say there are weird people in the world that will ask stupid questions that you literally have to write on the side of a can of paint, do not drink. that there are people that will literally take their children to a drag queen show. Is that everybody's fault? Yeah, I don't want to kill way too much time already, but still. JD Vance says Musk made this mistake trying to urge these two back together, especially before the election. And maybe it'll happen that way. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that's kind of... I don't think it was totally done intentionally. I think a lot of people are like, they're just acting. Elon Musk's not that good an actor. He's definitely not. Elon Musk's got a history of ruining relationships, just all over the place. Business relationships, personal relationships, all over the place. Countless people. It's part of him being on the spectrum. It's just part of it. He's hard to have a relationship with. So this happened. And they're trying to see if they can bring these guys back together. Not too close together. Obviously not at the White House every day. I'm sure that was causing all sorts of issues for everyone. And he can't be too close to NASA and things like that because of what he does. Right? But it'd be ideal to have a better relationship, especially with the SpaceX stuff and Trump trying to find other people that can help with this Golden Dome thing because he doesn't want to have to rely on Musk. I'd like to see that healed. Bill Maher says the Democrat Party won't survive unless it chooses to stand with Western civilization or collapse, trying to appease the radical fringe. That's a pretty good little 30-second snip. Check it.
The world is a complicated place, and it's not just about oppressor and oppressed. They have a thought in their head that white people did some very bad things, and white people did some very bad things. And they're all but so did everybody else in the world. Right. But they don't know that. They just see the world through this one prism. And until they do, I don't think you're going to get them off this issue. And I don't think the Democratic Party is going to be able to go forward until they make a decision. Whose side are you on here? Are you on the side of Western civilization and Western values, or are you on the side of the terrorists? Are you with those kids? Because, Mandami, he's the perfect candidate for them.
Getting out of the groupthink concept is important. On our side, too. Again, the examples I've just gotten done giving, but this coupled with that. There's a lot of us that literally believe, like good example, the weather. I think a lot of people believe it's cloud seeding, it's weather modification, right? And that's what they believe. So every time there's a weather story anywhere, that's what it has to be, because that's what they believe. But if you understand that weather's complex, that there are some other things happening with the solar system, but our sun, other planets are experiencing warming. Great example is at least the two closest to us, Mars and Venus both. So if you believe everything is of this variety, then every single piece of information you ever receive, you're going to pull through that filter, that little Play-Doh shape. You're going to pull it through, and it's going to be star-shaped like it always is. And so it's obviously related to that. When in reality, could be more complex. There's a lot of things that go into weather. As an example, there's a lot of things that go into these relationships around the world. There's a lot of things that goes into this movie we're watching. Even like why I asked Mike Lindell, were you intentionally holding that piece of paper? Were you playing a part? Because everyone believes these things. You find out a couple things, and then suddenly you throw that belief on everything. Again, they say, if the only tool you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. We all are guilty of doing that. Now, again, the trick, in my opinion, is to try to eliminate as many beliefs, or to try to eliminate as many beliefs as possible. And beliefs typically are just things we've told ourselves over and over, and we believe it, and we think it's true. If you can prove it, cool, it's one thing. Like, I know I'm going to stay on the ground no matter what. That's guarantee. That is guarantee. Whether it's gravity or not, I don't know. But it's definitely, we would call it that, but that, I'm obviously attracted downward. It's just, we're going into a very interesting time where a lot of weird information is being presented to us, fake information in a large extent. And if we have any belief structure that's even remotely in that vicinity, I'm watching people just flocking towards it. And it's weird. I don't know. It's like watching a crowd run back and forth, chasing the laser, on the wall like a cat would or something. It's just trying to get us all to kind of step back a little bit. Be like, well, I know I believe it's this, but maybe there's more to it. That's all. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I'm just saying maybe there's more to it. And I think if we come at things from at least that open mind, maybe there's more to it. We're talking to somebody we don't agree with, trying to find common ground. Maybe there's more to this. Maybe. I don't have all the answers. And when we can sort of get off that high horse of I have the answers, then it actually becomes easier to find some of the other mysteries that are in front of us and hopefully help more people. Again, a lot of talking. Judge blocks Beto's shady fundraising for runaway Dems. A Texas judge has temporarily blocked it while this whole thing continues down the road. I believe August 19th is when they're all set to have a hearing. But basically the judge has said right now, you must stop raising money, giving money, anything for what they're doing. You're not allowed to do it. Not even allowed to raise money. Now they're going to keep raising money, of course. It's okay when they do it, of course. But whatever the case is, temporary injunction. And, it's what they use against us. It's being used against them. Kind of fun that way. Newsom sends a letter to Trump urging him to halt this redistricting push. Now, again, Democrats have done this countless times. They've invented it. They've also done it in off years. Not typically, but they have. Should this be done now? I don't know. It's early enough before the election, I frankly think, to where it's like, nah, I get it. I think the Democrats screaming about it just to me makes it seem like it's probably something we almost should do. The threats of other states doing it in retaliation to me is funny because it's like we're not doing this to be dicks. We're doing it because we've earned 5 seats in the Texas House. Let's take advantage of that, right? Again, I'm not trying to make anyone's mind up, but I hear the counter argument and then the threats of doing the same thing in retaliation. It's like, wow, you guys are out of control, obviously. So Newsom, go ahead, put your special election on, the $200 million it's going to cost you to do it. You go ahead and explain that to us here in California. And, again, this is only hurting your chances of ever becoming president. So, again, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate it. It's making my life easier down the road. I'm just looking ahead right now, sir. I know you're eventually not going to be here anymore. And if we can actually get a real recall done again one of these days, who knows? Maybe we can get you out early, which would be awesome because that would kill your political chances. So, yeah, rigging political maps. That's going to be a big talk. It's going to be a big thing. For you guys that are big in Texas and just really, really dislike and despise Jasmine Crockett, and it's easy to do, she's built her entire political career, or by the way, her political brand on being a ghetto girl from the hood, yo. But the answer to that's not true. It's a big fat lie. Benny Johnson did a great expose. It's 12 and a half minutes. I wouldn't spend 12 and a half minutes on Jasmine Crockett. I don't care about her at all. So, but he traveled to Jasmine Crockett's actual hometown to investigate. She grew up way better than you or I did. She had a really nice home. She had a really nice school that she went to. Her overall education, they're saying he's suggesting, was about $1 million. So she's far from a hood rat, like she wants to say. But she's certainly not intelligent. So I don't know if the schools helped her at all. But man. All said, if you guys want to find it, Benny Johnson's got it going on. Like I said, it's not worth 12 minutes. I'm going to be playing plenty of Trump here coming up. UFC rights for TV. No longer going to be pay-per-view, which I think is cool. And I kind of agree. It's costing him a lot of fans. And I think ultimately, when we get into merch and get into shows and stuff like that, really that's actually better to get more people in your brand. And that's why a lot of times you do the TV for free. Like concerts, to my understanding, no, is it concerts or? I feel like it's concerts. I don't know, a lot of it's to promote the album sales, right? But concerts actually make them money too. So I don't know, like, Super Bowl, that's what it was. Duh, Super Bowl, sorry, the specific concert. But the Super Bowl, they don't get paid for. Supposedly, artists don't get paid for the Super Bowl, which is a bummer. Like Beyonce, like all you had to do was show up to a Kamala rally, and you didn't have to sing, and you got paid. That's pretty badass, right? But nothing. You got to actually put a freaking awesome show together when you go to Super Bowl, and you know you're going to sell a crap ton of music because of it. You're getting the most exposure ever, so they do it. So this is what's, I think, a good deal with this. It's going to put it on Paramount Plus, which, I hate having to use an app, but it's all cool because I don't watch the fights ever at my house. I got a couple buddies that are really into this crap. And yeah, he pays for the pay-per-view. Whatever. I show up to his house if I want to watch the fight. So I've got it easy, friends. I want to remind you guys, of course, MyPillow, we got a pretty sweet deal going on, and it looks like the free shipping's continuing. I thought it'd kind of close out on the weekend. Apparently it hasn't. If you get $100 or more, you're going to get the coupons too. So you get, this is funny, plus $100 in digital coupons. So they got free shipping, blah, blah, blah. Love it. You're also getting employee pricing on the MyPillow Premium Queen pillows, $19.98. Amazing pillow. It's that fill that I like. Here's the pillow I use right here. It's the same pillow. It's just got the knife edge versus the square, the box edge. Box edge, I think they call it. So that's the only difference. Same pillow other than that, right? So check it out. You're getting employee pricing. It's 50% off. It's incredible. Also, these slippers, which I kind of can reach. Yeah. These things are amazing. If you look at the fuzz on there, look at that, dude. Look at these. Feels nice. It's like I always say, put your foot in a cloud. It's what it is, except less wet, probably. Bottoms are like a non-slip. They're about 7 layers. They're stitched together. These things are really, really awesome. You can wear them outside. Again, we have indoor shoes and outdoor shoes at this household. And that's what that is. And they're an incredible deal right now, $39.98. They will not be cheaper than that ever. They're trying to blow these out. They've got a new version of them coming in, and Christmas is coming. So I would highly take advantage of that sale. Also, best towels you'll ever find, ever. Any towels you get from these people, whether it's the beach towel, whether it's the bath towels, whether it's the kitchen towels, they are the best towels. I love the towels. I've got the kitchen. I've got the bath. I've even got the bigger bath. I've got beach towels. These are huge, by the way. They're really big. I had Mike Lindell unfurl. I actually felt bad. I was making this dude's like a millionaire. I have him unfurl all this stuff. Hey, can you fold that back up when you're done too, please? Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. But they are beautiful towels. Can't beat them. Best energy drink you'll ever try. You can buy a mattress starting at $799. They will literally ship it for free. A mattress. I even think they have frames too that you can get. So again, you're trying to go low cost or lower cost. I know I paid a little more than that when I bought my bed. And my mattress was more than this. And this is a really nice mattress. You can throw toppers on it too. It's very good stuff. Very good stuff. And it's all on sale. You want to go to mypillow.com/OTF. OTF. That coupon code's getting some stuff. By the way, do you love your dogs? You should have dog beds for them for sure. Those are on sale as well. $39.98. I think that's for the smaller one, right? So, size isn't necessarily the showing of your love, but it can be. mypillow.com/OTF. mypillow.com/OTF. Free shipping, free coupons, incredible products. Get the best night of sleep you've ever had with free shipping. That's for sure. Right there. mypillow.com/OTF. Yum-E. All right, let's go. Rock and roll. Hoochie coo. Trump invokes DC Home Rule Act. Set to deploy National Guard, a whole bunch of stuff. That's why I want to play it, because he talks about a whole bunch of crap. And rather than trying to piece it together with all the little snippets of stuff I found, I'm like, let's just spend the time and play it up. So I wanted to play this first because they kind of talk about this as well. Washington's murder rate per 100,000 per capita. Washington's murder rate per 100,000 is 27.54. It's the highest in the world. Not only is it the highest in the world, it is just shy of twice as high as the next place called Bogota, or Mexico City, which is about almost a third, or Islamabad, or Lima, or Ottawa, or Paris. Paris is dangerous? No. 1.64 in Paris. Washington, D.C.'s 27.54. Havana's way lower. Yeah. So this is what Trump is fixing. This is what has to get fixed. And again, when this is what the climate is, where you're bringing politicians in, where you've got people walking to and fro the White House, and are getting mugged. This can't happen. And when we're about to do something radical that's going to require arrests of people that are prominent, and the deep state's going to want to try to spin up its agitators, there's not going to be as many agitatable people just around anymore. This is huge. So let's play the video. I think you guys will enjoy it. I got them pretty much right at the beginning. I was like a couple seconds late, but it started in a decent place. I hope you guys appreciate it. I wish I could speed it up different than one. I can't. It's like 1.5 or 1.0, and 1.5 is way too fast, and it sounds funnier than hell. All said, it's worth the time. Oh, it's 25 minutes, whatever. Sorry, guys. It's worth it, though. Check it out.
This is Liberation Day, D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States. I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened. And so you can be anything you want, but you want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. Just like we did on our southern border. Nobody comes through our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row, we had zero. I don't know if that's right, but the people that do the work, it's a very liberal group of people, actually, and they actually said zero for the last 3 months. Nobody thought a thing like that was possible. And, you know, when you take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is, okay, the red is a place called Washington, D.C. Look at these. Baghdad is, we doubled up on Baghdad. Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Bogota, Colombia, heavy drugs. Mexico City, I mentioned, Lima, Peru, all double and triple what they are. So do you want to live in places like that? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think the people in this room, if you wrote correctly, you'd see, look at the kind of numbers we have. D.C., 41 per 100,000, number one that we can find anywhere in the world. Other cities are pretty bad, but they're not as bad as that. Is that where you want to live? The reporters of the world? Juvenile offenders and crimes against persons, as they say. It's getting worse. Not getting better, it's getting worse. And we had a recent indication. There was a story about a man who was just left. He quit because he was asked to do phony numbers on crime. And we're going to look into that. I think Pam is going to be looking into that. But he was asked by the city, I guess, that we don't want to show the real numbers. Let me do numbers so it looks like it's going down. Not going down. And under Biden, it was a disaster. And nobody did anything about it. We're going to do things about it like you wouldn't believe. Every American has a constitutional right to be able to access and petition their government in safety, and countless federal officials and employees likewise have the right to carry out their jobs in peace without being shot. As you know, I lost a very good person a while ago, was shot waiting for his wife. He was in the car. They robbed his car. They shot him. They killed him like it was nothing to it. She was walking to the car. It's a horror show. This issue directly impacts the functioning of the federal government and is a threat to America. Really, it's a threat to our country. We have other cities also that are bad, very bad. You look at Chicago, how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to lose our cities over this. And this will go further. We're starting very strongly with DC, and we're going to clean it up real quick, very quickly, as they say. Days ago, a former member of the DOJ staff was savagely beaten by a band of roving thugs after defending a young woman from an attempted carjacking. He was left dripping in blood. He thought he was dead, with a broken nose and concussion. Can't believe that he's alive. He can't believe it. In June, a 21-year-old congressional intern was tragically killed after being hit by a stray bullet in a drive-by shooting. A former Trump administration official named Mike Gill, fantastic person, was murdered last year in cold blood in a carjacking blocks away from the White House. We all knew him. Great person. Waiting for his wife as she was walking to the car. A Democrat congressman was also carjacked at gunpoint not far from the Capitol. And in 2023, an aide to Senator Rand Paul was stabbed in the chest and head by a demented lunatic as he walked down the street, just absolutely for no reason. Horrifically, last July 4th weekend, a 3-year-old girl was shot in the head and killed while sitting in a car near the Capitol. It's becoming a situation of complete and total lawlessness. And we're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live. Caravans of mass youth rampage through city streets at all times of the day. There are ATVs, motorbikes. They travel pretty well. Entire neighborhoods are now under emergency curfews. Just this past weekend, gunfire went through, and you saw that, the Navy Yard. I saw it this morning. They saw that they fought back against law. See, they fight back until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand. But they fought back against law enforcement last night. And they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, you know, they love to spit in the face of the police. As the police are standing up there in uniform, they're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they can hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any search. So and you can see they want to get at it. And they're standing there, and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This dire public safety crisis stems directly from the abject failures of the city's local leadership. The radical left city council adopted no cash bail. By the way, every place in the country where you have no cash bail is a disaster. That's what started the problem in New York, and they don't change it. They don't want to change it. That's what started it in Chicago. I mean, bad politicians started it, bad leadership started it, but that was the one thing that's central: no cash bail. Somebody murders somebody and they're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end that in Chicago. We're going to change the statute. I spoke with Pam and Todd and everybody. We're going to change the statute, and I'm going to have to get the Republicans to vote because the Democrats are weak on crime, totally weak on crime. They don't know why. They want to stop because they get mugged too. But we're going to change no cash bail. We're going to change the statute and get rid of some of the other things. And we'll count on the Republicans in Congress and Senate to vote. We have the majority, so we'll vote. We don't have a big majority, but we've gotten everything, including the great, big, beautiful bill. Got that done, and that's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to people in this country. They're starting to figure it out, how good it is. Biggest tax cut in history. So many things. But we'll be able to get that done. So, Todd, if you and Pam can draw up things working with the people, I'll get it passed. We'll get it passed with the Republicans. Probably won't get, think of this, probably won't get one Democrat vote because they have no idea what they're doing. That's why they want men playing in women's sports. That's why they want transgender for everybody transgender. And they just got walloped in an election, in a landslide, and they haven't changed one thing. I saw the other day the certain gentleman who was a very well-known politician, Democrat, was fighting like hell that men should be allowed to play in women's sport. They just don't get it. They said it's an 80-20 issue, and I think it's a 97-3 issue, and I don't know who the three are. I've never heard anybody nobody's ever come up to me, sir, you have to let men play in women's sports. You have to do it, sir. Nobody's ever approached me. I don't know where this issue even comes from. Never seen anything like it. But they turned our nation's capital into a sanctuary jurisdiction. That's the other thing. We have to get rid of sanctuary cities as quickly as possible. We're going to do it, too. We have to. Because it's sanctuary for criminals. Releasing illegal alien gang members onto the streets in 2022, nearly 70% of criminals arrested in Washington went unprosecuted. That's not going to happen with the group we have standing aside and standing behind me. And at the Metropolitan Police Department, it's now reached a small number relatively compared to what it was, but it's thousands of people. You know, we have thousands of police. I was told today, sir, they want more police. I heard a number, 3,500 police. That's a lot of police. 3,500. I thought they were going to say, we only have 30 policemen or women. He said, we have 3,500. We need more. You don't need more. That's so many. I never heard. That's like an army. How could you need more than 3,000? It just happened 2 minutes ago. Sir, they've requested more police. Oh, what do they have? About 3,500. I said, 3,500? This is not a big area. It's ridiculous. What you need is rules and regulations, and you need the right people to implement them. And we have the right people here, that I can tell you. Look at the border. Biden said there's nothing you can do. Kamala was the border czar. She never called one of the Border Patrol agents who are great. ICE is great. Never spoke to anybody. Never went there. But she was the border czar. And everybody said it was impossible to fix. I fixed it in 3 months. No, really. I fixed it the first week, but really fixed it over the last couple of months. And I mean, literally to a point where, as I said, 0 illegals entering our country in the last 90 days. Pretty amazing. It's time for dramatic action. We're going to do the same thing over here. It's going to be a very safe city very soon. We're not looking to take years, because a lot of people die in years. And we've got incredible people in this country, except we have to allow them to do their job. And that we will deliver like nobody's ever delivered before. I actually think it's easy. You know, if you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible. But I'm very competent. Last week, my administration surged 500 federal agents into the district, including from the FBI, ATF, DEA, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. You know, a lot of nations, they don't have anything like that. They got some police, and they're rough police. They don't have DEA, ATF, FBI, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security. They got some police, but they're rough police, and they do their job. They don't have crime. We're not going to have crime either. They made dozens of arrests, and that's what starts to happen. Again, cashless bail. Watch what we do with that. Today, we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. And it's embarrassing for me to be up here. You know, I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it, by the way, because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We have the most beautiful, potentially, capital in the world. We always had. But people come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they come and then they get mugged. Not going to happen. Keep coming, because by the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly. We're going to replace the medians that are falling down all over the roads. We're going to replace the potholes. We're going to put a nice new coat of asphalt over the top. No, we don't have to rip the road out and spend 7 years building a new road because they cut everything. Because some designers said, well, we need a 1/4 of an inch more turn for safety reasons. No, we're going to do it right. We're going to get it done quickly. So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment. And I'll be making the appropriate notifications to Congress and to the mayor, our new DEA administrator, who's one of the top in the country. He better be Terry. If you're not, I'm going to get rid of you so fast. Terry Cole. Terry, thanks. Very good. We just got him, most highly recommended person. And you'll be designated as the interim federal commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department, okay? And you run them tough. They're good. You have a lot of good people. You have people that shouldn't be there. You also have people that shouldn't be there. They got in there because of woke. But you have a lot of great police, and those people are the ones that want to help you. This city will no longer be a sanctuary for illegal alien criminals. We will have full, seamless, integrated cooperation at all levels of law enforcement, and we'll deploy officers across the district with an overwhelming presence. You'll have more police, and you'll be so happy, because you'll be safe. When you walk down the street, you're going to see police, or you're going to see FBI agents. We're going to have a lot of agents on the street. You're going to have a lot of, essentially, military, and we will bring in the military if it's needed. By the way, we're going to have National Guard, but Pete Hegseth will tell you about it. We will bring in the military if needed. People say, oh, that's so terrible. He's going to bring in, it's been used many times over the years. I don't think we'll need it. I think we've got so many great people, including the people that are in the police department with proper leadership. They'll immediately begin massive enforcement operations targeting known gangs, drug dealers, and criminal networks to get them the hell off the street, maybe get them out of the country, because a lot of them came into our country illegally. They shouldn't have been allowed in. They come from Venezuela. They come from all over the world. We're going to get them the hell out. They won't be here long. But some of these people, a lot of them, are homegrown criminals. And these are bad people. These are rough people. And this is just a list of some of the people that were given to me today that were criminals removed from the DC streets this weekend. They were rough and tough, but we're rougher and tougher. Let the people know what we signed. Do you want to put them down?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
A short while ago in the Oval Office, President Trump signed 2 crucial executive actions to deal with the emergency crime conditions we currently face in the District of Columbia. The first of these was an executive order, as President Trump said before, invoking his powers under Section 40 of the Home Rule Act to take federal control of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. Along with that executive order, President Trump signed the statutorily required notification letters to Mayor Bowser and to the relevant House and Senate committee leaders. The second major executive action that President Trump signed was a presidential memorandum directing the Secretary of Defense to utilize the National Guard to address the conditions we see on our streets here in D.C. It also authorized the Secretary of Defense to work with state governors to utilize their National Guard units if necessary as well. These are bold, decisive steps intended to combat the out-of-control crime conditions we've seen on D.C.'s streets for far too long, and I, for one, am deeply proud to be part of an administration that's finally coming to terms with these issues, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you. So, just to conclude, Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, most beautiful places anywhere in the world. It was years ago. We had one problem that was a pretty big problem. The radical left got out of control and they started trying to rip down statues. And I said, let's go pass a law real fast. We're going to do it real fast, but we were blocked by the Democrats who do not want safety. Nobody gets it. I don't get it. They don't get it because they can't get votes. I don't know how they can win an election with this, but they don't want safety. And I found an old statute, very old, early 1900s, that said if you so much as touch or even think about destroying a statue or a monument in Washington, D.C., you go to jail for 10 years with no probation, no anything. In other words, slightly different than we have today. Today we have cashless bail. Today you get jailed 10 years. No curtailed sentence, 10 years. And we took it out. Nobody used it. It was never used because, you know, it's harsh. And you remember they started to rip down the statue of Abraham Lincoln. I said, that's a tough one to rip down. He was pretty good, Pam. I think he was pretty good. When the ropes started going around Abraham Lincoln to pull him down, Andrew Jackson, others, and they were heading to the Jefferson Memorial, Thomas Jefferson. They're going to do a big number there. I said, it's time. And I signed that statute immediately. We had it updated. We made it use the same language, all passed by Congress. And I announced it's 10 years in jail, no probation, no anything, 10 years, no curtail sentence if you touch, so much as touch a statue in Washington, D.C. And it was an amazing sight, beautiful sight. Everybody just left. The ropes were hanging around Andrew Jackson, and there were two ropes around Abraham Lincoln. They left the rope, but everybody just left. And that was the last problem we ever had. You know, that was the last problem that we ever had with the statues. They were going wild, and somebody came to me and said, sir, in 1910, I don't want to give you an exact because you'll say, Donald Trump gave us wrong dates around like early on. You know, if I'm slightly off, they make you sound a little bad. So I won't put myself in that position. I won't put you in that position because I think everybody agrees with what we're doing today. But when I signed that thing, it was like a miracle. Everybody left. They were gone. They were starting to march down. They started the march toward Thomas Jefferson. And I figured he was always going to be safe. But they found something with him, and they found something with Abraham Lincoln. And even in the name George Washington in California, numerous places changed the name of George Washington High School and various other places. They took George Washington's name. This was a sick, woke culture that I think we've largely ended. And a lot of those people that were woke are now turning out to be the opposite. I won't go so far as to say MAGA. It's a very special category. But they've gotten out of that. But we have people that love this country, and they love this really beautiful capital. It is. I flew over it the other day, and I said, what a beautiful place. But if there's crime all over the streets, when you get there, it doesn't look so beautiful. But we're going to make it beautiful again. We're going to fix it with crime, and we're going to also, as we're doing that, we're going to start doing things that we know how to do, that I know how to do better than anybody, I guess, because of my experience from previous life. But not only are we stopping the crime, we're going to clean up the trash and the graffiti and the grime and the dirt and the broken marble panels and all of the things they've done to hurt this city. And we're going to restore the city back to the gleaming capital that everybody wants it to be. It's going to be something very special. All of these people are really tough. Could I shake your hand, Gaddy, please? You're going to be so important here. You're going to be that guy. I hope I don't have to fire him in 2 weeks because he's too soft. I don't think he's too soft. If I do, I will, though. Is it okay if you're soft, weak, and pathetic like so many people? I will fire you so fast. You're not going to have to worry about that. No, I think you're going to do a fantastic job. And everybody in this room, they may not express it, but they all want that to happen. You know, they want to be safe, and they have families too. So it's an honor to have such a large group. I've done this for years now, hard to believe. I've never seen this room so packed. In fact, I'm sure it's a violation of every fire code. But we'll let you stay anyway. You're taking a chance. And with that, we'll say, maybe if you could, oh, wow. We could be here all day long. If we could keep the first questions, perhaps, to this subject, and then we'll go on to a few others. Please.
Oh, man. Yeah, sorry. I mean, for anyone that was bummed that I played that whole thing, for all of you, I hope you enjoyed that, because to me, it was pretty freaking awesome. A lot said in there. The two just quick points, because we're already long on this in the big picture. But leading to the take over of DC, like, it's a federal land that they voted in not that long ago. I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but it was like, 20, 30, 40 years, something. I don't know. Not that long ago, DC kind of really started having a mayor. I think it's like, you guys are probably pissed at me that, you don't know. No, I don't. It's not that long, though. It's like a reasonably short period of time. DC has been under a mayoral control. That is not how it should be. It should be like Puerto Rico and the other place. It's a territory. So this is, I think, going to come back into play. Now, DC was always that third leg, by the way, too. You guys remember London, DC, and, the other one. Why am I drawing up? Oh, Vatican. Hello. Right? That was the three legs of the stool. And this is what has been controlling everything for, the people that have been controlling things for thousands and thousands and thousands of years are the main people of those three legs. There you go. That's probably a better way to say it. Also, he called it an emergency. And that means money comes. That means budgeting happens differently. That means emergency funds are allowed to be used. So FEMA or wherever they got money lying around, they can use. Which, if you think about, could be some of these bullshit budgets. DEI budgets and stuff like that. It's like, ooh, where'd you get the money from? Yeah, we had some budgets that kind of went past on their contracts anyway, and we never spent the money, so we spent the money. And, what are they going to do after the effect? Sue them? You have an injunction. You got to pull that money back. You got to claw it back. Nah. So we're war, folks. Suspects lead LA cops on a wild chase. This is crazy. Just, I don't know. Dude, here, the thing that trips me out a little bit, and you guys call me out. You think this is, if I'm a retard on this, feel free to be sort of nice. I mean, retard's fine. But, right? Like, don't get about, like, it's not that small. Anyway, they stole a semi, too. Also, a semi. These dudes were able to steal a semi. So, I mean, they're probably truck drivers, but they evaded cops, were able to for many, many miles, finally got away, switched drivers, got away further, literally got away. I mean, they weren't getting away, per se, until they finally got away. But, I mean, they were getting further and further away, it seems. And they finally got away. What is that, terminal velocity? No. Nah? When you break gravity, pull? I'm thinking, whatever the case is. It's not right. I don't think that's right. But that said, yeah. They didn't catch them. Yeah, I just did. No. California, no offense. I actually have some respect for the California Highway Patrol. They just, I don't know. I haven't had to deal with them often in my life. But, like, state troopers always freak me out, which is basically your highway patrol people, right? Except we had chips. We made a cool show out of it, which helped. Ponce and John and Punch. Yeah, Punch and John. Oh, Lord. It's been a while. I wasn't sure if it was Ponce or Punch. My brain. Mayor Adams announces 1,000 homeless New Yorkers move from subways. Permanent homes thanks to subway safety plan. Is it a hotel where there's thousands and thousands of dollars being friggin' wasted? So I feel like Mayor Adams, I don't know if he's ready for the big leagues. I don't think he is. Maybe he is. Maybe this is how you got to steer New York. And so I'm going to give him credit there. I don't think anybody else actually cares about that state or that city in a MAGA kind of way at all. And I don't think he's a MAGA guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that. He's just like about 4 steps. He's like a hopscotch difference from where most of them are in a very sensible way, I think. And I think he's like sellable and all those things, right? Like, so just, yeah, that goes a lot of ways. A lot of ways that actually goes. Oversight Committee is going to hold hearings with Bowser, DC leadership, in September. I don't know if their contract's up. Let's see what they talk. They're going to be meeting. I don't want to waste a lot of time, but this sort of just ties into their meeting in September. I mean, Trump's right now is taking control of, from a military safety standpoint, got the crime statistics to show it. September oversight government, like, you know, the other branch of the government is going to be like, all right, so here's what's up, Washington, D.C. We have to let you know that you are no longer in charge of yourself. We are in charge of you. Congress is who should be in charge of the federal lands. The thing I was trying to quote that I have no idea what it is, but I know what it means. It's like that, what was that, Pantene? Because it had that provitamin B complex. Don't know what it is, but I know what it does. That's kind of what it's not my fault. I'm pretty. Anyway, they are doing this, and it's pretty cool. They're doing something. All this stuff's going on, right? All these things are happening. The timing, everybody, all the prophesiers and doomsayers or whatever's are all like, it's coming this fall. Well, I mean, there's some, maybe finally the right, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I still feel like we play a part in like softening the blow. Like, here's the thing. I maybe this is a fail on my part, right? Maybe we should just let it be horrible. There's a lot of people that want the horrific thing to happen because then finally we will move forward. But I feel like a lot of people will like and just crash. And then we lose them completely. But I feel like if you sort of soften it, you're like, dude, start flapping your arms. I know I'm free falling. It ain't going to help. No, seriously, start flapping your arms. And really, you got a plan that's better than that, but you got to wait until you get closer to the ground, right? But you want them thinking, right? This is kind of what they're doing. I mean, reality flat out, that'd slow you down as much as you can. There you go. Let's do that. You go splat. Side salad. Perfect. Obama judge refuses to release the Ghislaine Maxwell grand jury transcripts. So this is now going to get blamed on a judge. It's a left-leaning judge. It's an Obama judge. District Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer. I don't fucking know. Some douchey thing, probably. He probably gets really pissy about it, too. It's Judge Engelmeyer. Thank you very much. It's like, all right, sorry, humdog. So, yeah, government hasn't cited enough materials to present a special circumstance that justifies the exception of unsealing these. Now, Just Human actually did a pretty sweet little dive on this. We'll start with the info here. So this systematic, there you go. This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Consistent with prior disclosures, This review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined throughout the materials. This includes specific details such as victim names and likenesses, physical descriptions, places of birth, associates, and employment history. One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims perpetrating. I feel like I'm saying it like Tweety Bird for some reason. Whatever, that word. Unfounded. That word's hurting me. Anyway, those words, unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those in the ends. I feel like it's spelled wrong, and I'm trying to. Anyway, so that is really like broke my brain. That's really awesome. That's for any shrinks out there. There you go. That word, I can't. It's like messed up even my knowledge of what the. Oh, it's bugging me. To that end. While we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that no further disclosure should be appropriate or warranted. Perpetrate, isn't it? Perpetrating unfounded theories? Oh, it's bugging me. I think that's it. I want to look it up. Perpetrate? Oh, fuck it. I don't have time. I lost where I was. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Yeah. All right. Appeals court. Trump administration restores public funding tracker. Another judge telling him he's got to put this thing back on. Trump is saying, dude, this thing shows unique information, right? That I'm not... information that shows sensitive information. I don't know exactly what was on there. They never really pointed it out, and I'm sure that was part of the problem, is that they didn't really want everybody to know. But this trying to force this data back to public is interesting. The appeals court does acknowledge the fact that they can go to the Supreme Court and likely will. I think that story's changed or something, because I swear if there was something in there prior. They must edit it. I should get like snapshots when I do it. U.S. federal courts have been hacked. Pacer. You guys, I don't know if you've heard of this. This is one that's got all the cases in it. People look up, there's a 300,000 cases in the such database. Well, somebody got in there. August 6th, like just 5 days ago from my standpoint, right? August 6th, 2025. They got breached. I don't know what that means. Don't know, what they're going to tell us, what they know. But if they got in and it's, if they got anything unique. Who? Was it White Hats? Was it, right? I would assume that system, Pacer, definitely wasn't, that was a deep state back end for sure. So the fact that it got hacked, could be gray hats, could be white hats, don't know. We don't know. But blaming that is interesting, because that means info's out. It's going to get leaked, probably. Zelensky could attend a meeting between Trump and Putin this week. Maybe. He might. It's kind of up in the air. In fact, Trump is a little pissed about it, too. He says, we're done with funding. This is Vance in this story, talking about being done. We're done as a country funding the Ukraine war. We want to bring about a peaceful settlement to this thing. He was telling Maria Bartiromo. So again, we don't want to do this. I think we're just going to play this one now, because this is the other, I think this was the next thing. It's different. Yeah, German Chancellor invites Zelensky to NATO. So before the meeting happens, which is coming up this Friday, he's supposed to meet with Europe, the European Union, deep state, the deep state controllers, the ones that are losing control, by the way, big time, bigly. Ursula von der Leyen, she's definitely losing control for the deep state. So Zelensky's supposed to meet up with all of them. And this is basically what it's going to come down to. I think with Trump and the United States, we'll be like, we're out. You guys want to keep funding this war? Okay. If you think it's bad to give a little, take a little, Trump's told us what it is. I think I've got more, I thought, somewhere. Maybe. We'll see if I get lucky. I don't know what happened to it. I swear I had something. But yeah, Trump is talking about how this kind of should end. I think it was one of his answers in the press conference. That's where I think I got this. That's where it's in my brain. This is what, fresh. And I thought it was something I pulled, but no, it was that, again, it was just beautiful. There's so much good stuff in there. Landmark trial kicks off over Trump's use of the U.S. military in the policing role. They had a point in here that I was funny, is the 3-day non-jury trial before the U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer in San Francisco is going to determine if the government violated the 19th century law, and this is the key to this. This is the law that bars the military from civil law enforcement when it deployed troops to Los Angeles. But here's the thing. They never arrested anyone. Civil law enforcement is the arresting of somebody by the police. As a National Guard troop guarding a place, I can detain somebody until police come to take them from me. And that's close to what a citizen's arrest is. But this is where their argument lies. I don't think they've got an argument. I'm curious what this appeals court does. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I have no idea. Let's not even pretend. It's not even pretend. It's not, I don't even play a person on camera that does that. Here's something we all should remember. It's good old Obama stuff. Well, I'm going long today. Sorry, guys.
You talked about this with the comedian Trevor Noah the other day, and you said a number of things in a row. You observed that there had been contacts between members of Mr. Trump's staff and Russian officials. Right. You noted that Trump benefited from the hacks. Your spokesman, Josh Earnest, has gone on to say this week that it's obvious that Trump knew what was going on. To what extent are you suggesting some kind of cooperation between the president-elect and Russian officials here?
Well, I'm not suggesting cooperation at all. Keep in mind that those statements were in the context of everyone now acting surprised by the CIA assessment that this was done purposely to improve Trump's chances. And my only point was that shouldn't be treated as a blockbuster because that was the worst kept secret in this town. Everybody understood that. It was reported on. Steve, if you go back and look at your stories, if you read any mainstream publication, you would see that if you have a hack of the DNC and a hack of Hillary Clinton's most senior advisor's emails, and those things are then released in drip, drip, drip fashion over the course of months, and that seem to generate consistently negative coverage, despite the fact that there's nothing in there that's particularly controversial, that it's mostly just, as I said, political gossip or routine emails between folks who were working in a campaign environment, then it's a pretty clear inference that people would draw and did draw that this was helping the Trump campaign and it was hurting the Hillary campaign. That doesn't mean that the Trump campaign was coordinating. It just means that they understood what everybody else understood, which was that this was not good for Hillary Clinton's campaign. And when you combine that with the fact that the president-elect has been very honest about his admiration for Putin and that he hopes to forge a more cooperative relationship with him and focus on the threat of Islamic terrorism, then my only point was we shouldn't now suddenly act as if this is a huge revelation. In October, we said, after being very careful about it, because we had no interest in appearing as if we were putting our thumbs on the scales, we did what was almost unprecedented, which was every intelligence agency in the federal government arrived at a consensus that the Russians had hacked the DNC, and the information that was now being released was as a consequence of a decision by Russian intelligence and Russian officials at the highest levels. So what the CIA is now assessing, which was it was done purposefully to tilt the election in the direction of a particular candidate, shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, and in fact isn't a surprise to anybody.
I don't know if you guys remember, but first off, it's NPR. I don't know if you guys caught that. NPR did this. I don't know if you guys remember, but the number of Russians that were involved, or the number of dollars that were being funneled through different candidates, or stuff, was pretty minimal when they finally dug it up. And then when we go to look back and we find that China had 1.5 million plus driver's licenses created so they could actually send mail-in ballots. There's a huge discrepancy and, story, mosaic being built here. Very large, very wide. It's going to be difficult for the common person to understand. This is where the ripple makers are going to come into play, big time. You all. We have to be able to disseminate all these multiple pieces and try to connect the dots. You guys remember those stupid connect the dot things? Well, they weren't stupid. They were kind of fun in an odd, weird way, right? It was fun to try to imagine what the thing was before you finished it, but they were usually well done. But the connect the dots were cool. That's what we have to do to the common folk. We need to help. We need to bring these people the way of going, well, then this happened, then this happened. This was put out, and I agree with Mila. Whoever wrote this is spot on. He said, imagine being Barack Obama, thinking you got away with murder since 2016, spying, lying, rigging the game, watching Trump get dragged through hell, and thinking it's over. You install your puppet and breathe easy like you're untouchable. But then, Trump comes storming back after 34 sham convictions, 2 arrests, and 2 assassination attempts, and wins in 2024. Now, suddenly, you're not safe. You're staring down treason charges, your entire legacy collapsing, your lies exposed, and the world finally seeing you for what you are. A smooth-talking thug. Karma didn't forget you. It just waited, and the reckoning you thought would never come is now here, and it's glorious to watch. And frankly, I don't know if you guys feel the same. It definitely is, man. I am loving the hell out of this movie right now. Here's J.D. Vance talking about this Russiagate nonsense and, the people that are involved.
Subpoenas, and there are actually some active investigations I think that probably you won't be fully aware of until we announce the conclusion of those investigations. But the president has been very clear. The attorney general, the FBI director have been very clear. They are looking at law breaking. And for people who broke the law, it's not going to be a slap on the wrist. We're sorry. Have a nice life. It's going to be, you've got to face consequences for it. And I really think it's our sacred obligation to the American people to ensure that those who broke the law pay the price for it.
Yeah, exactly. And so again, and here's where I think it should all come into. First off, all the people that are going to go future preaching. There's going to be a lot of this. You guys just be careful. It's going to be a lot of it. But try to understand that people are going to do this. They're going to continue to. Generally going to be wrong. We're going to see it when we see it, and that's when we should believe it. You should never believe it beforehand. Right now, anyways. I don't think anything. I don't know. I'm trying to... Hopefully something will pop into my head that breaks the rule. But for right now, I feel like that's a pretty solid rule. Don't believe anything yet right up front, especially when it comes to the changes we're going through and who and when and where things are going to happen. I keep seeing the Gitmo arrests coming in the Jasara, like in a few at GCE, whatever that is. Is that one of those things? I feel like I see those headlines, and I have been for like 4 weeks now. 5 weeks? Just constantly. Wow, shit, longer than that, really. I'm starting to think. I was like, oh, always. It just blows my mind. I don't watch them. NVIDIA and AMD. This is a sweet deal that, I don't know what's going on here, but this is a sweet-ass deal. So NVIDIA and AMD have to pay a 15% fee or something of China chip sales. So whatever the chip sale is to China, AMD or NVIDIA have to give 15% of it to the United States government, basically, or the Treasury. That's significant. That's a chunk of change. That is tough on China. But see, China messed with our elections. China did things that are acts of war. And I wonder if already Trump's kind of starting to navigate us into the China, you're paying us restitution. We don't necessarily have to go public with that. You're just going to do it. You understand, right? Thank you for your attention to this matter, as Trump kind of douchedly says sometimes, if I can make up words. Intel shares pop 5% as the CEO is apparently heading to the White House. Supposed to be, I think, talking to Trump today. The Intel guy is the one that's got, apparently, allegedly, maybe, has ties to China and the CCP. And so there's a lot of people that are like, how can you be the CEO of this company if you literally are like answering to the CCP? And so we'll see what that all means. Lip Boo Tan's, his meeting, again, sure I'm saying it correctly, Lip Boo. All the things I wanted to say, I knew were not appropriate. I don't even know what's wrong with my brain. Yeah, so, okay, gold's down a little. Nice. 30, that means the dollar got strong. You know, it's not necessarily, like, you know, good for gold, but it is if you weren't trying to buy it. But yeah, 34 grand there, or 3,400, sweet. VIX is going up, which means trust is going down. Dow Jones and all that stuff's down a little bit. I don't know. It's just that everything's kind of up, down. They find the stupidest reason to blame. I feel like this is the deep state system in a nutshell. Is kind of why I like to focus on it so much. Not solely because of the gold. I mean, the gold's why I support the gold is because I think the system's coming down, and gold protects you, right? But and silver too. Silver a lot. But this is the system that to the world, the TV screen facing the world, is the Dow Jones and stuff like that. These fixed commodities, these metrics. That's what Trump figured out in his first term. He knew what the metrics were. So if you mess with the things that affect the metrics, you make it hard for things to happen the way they're supposed to, the controlled way that the deep state wants. You know, someone was saying I think it's the S&P. It's like the overwhelming majority of the investment of the S&P 500 is actually in 10 companies. And I think it's supposed to be the top 500 companies or something like that. But 10 companies are over 50% majority of the money that's invested in the S&P. So again, these numbers are so weirdly played with. I think crypto comes into play too, like I've said before. I think they're waiting for this crash day to happen. When it does, they're going to gobble up all the goodies because they've got money. So they're going to switch that crypto into cash, buy it, or switch that crypto straight into stock if they can. Maybe there's places where you can do that. Probably is. And especially Bitcoin, because that's usually the first one that's accepted. So all those things said, once that happens, though, you've now just had someone push out 100 million plus of Bitcoin. And what that does is it causes the price of Bitcoin to drop. And so everybody that comes out, and so all the big players are going to go first. And likely they're talking to each other and be like, all right, you go, then I go, then, right? Like it's done that way. It's done in priority of size of sale, probably. And then everyone else gets to go. But by that point, the price of Bitcoin has fallen. And there's no mechanism. Like on the Dow Jones, by the way, if it starts falling too far and it goes past a certain percentage, they actually shut down the system. They don't with crypto. I don't think that's built into it. So again, I think that's going to kind of happen. But again, I'm not trying to even push Goldco, though. DRS likes gold.com if you're in a 401k or an IRA. DRS likes gold.com. Donald Trump truthed this out. This is literally his truth. A statement from Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Gold will not be tariffed. DRS likes gold.com. Telling you, sorry guys, if you got a 401k or IRA, I think twice. Shop hard, guys. First off, I just want to point out the important ones. This is my good friends, TWC, The Wellness Company. I'm so long, and I feel bad already. First off, bestsellers. If you go to the ivermectin mebendazole, that's the parasite cleanse. That thing's awesome. I'm actually noticing some other cool little side effects in a good way that are happening. Are unintended, unexpected benefits. Anyway, we'll talk more about those. I'm going through, I don't want to say going through the transition because it sounds kind of freaky, but I'm going through the experience and I don't want to mess it up. It's kind of like a cool manifestation too, I think, also. So I think there's a lot going on. So I'm going to kind of go through this next little part, like in my way. and I think it'll be groovy. So again, that's the parasite cleanse. That's huge. If you do any research in parasites and what they're involved with, I think ivermectin and mebendazole has a much higher effect on our parasite world than I've heard some people talk about. But all said, I think it's a powerful one. You've got a contagion emergency kit. That's if you get any sort of virus. You've got your ivermectins. You've got your hydroxychloroquines. You've got a generic Tamiflu. You've also got a Z-Pack in there. And then you've got like a upper respiratory, like that asthma medication with the inhaler thing, the nebulizer or whatever. You got that. And you got 5 vials. It's like it'll save your life if you ever get that hardcore crazy flu, right? That's the new COVID that's coming, right? That one that's kind of gets you, the mosquito one, the one, whatever. I don't know. Any of the above, that contagion kit's going to be sweet. Also, a big one that's really popular right now, Recharge, the methylene blue. It's just good for your mind. Get your mind working. But some are saying there's some other weird, cool benefits. This stuff goes all the way through your body and stays blue the whole time. That's one of the things that kind of tripped me out a little bit. I'm like, a lot of things don't do that. They can. Drink a bunch of, something with blue dye in it. It will definitely turn things blue. But, yeah, it's weird. That was a surprise, after a short period of time. It's helpful. They've got a good one. And then they've got weight loss and all this other great stuff. TWC, The Wellness Company. There's actual doctors, prescription, 100% legal, right? Awesome. Go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. And that will definitely make a giant difference. I should have myself on the screen, but, whatever. We're doing what we're doing. We're riding crazy. What we got? All right. Try. Rachel Maddow. Yes. Yeah. Still funny. California hospitals covering up the surge that they noticed in stillbirths that were happening right after the COVID shots started. Now, again, call it coincidence. Not saying there's a direct correlation, but it is a study that is going around right now. And there was a spike. Normal numbers, I think, was 1 per month. That was normal prior to the shots happening. And they said it jumped to approximately 20 per month and has remained high ever since. So this is part of this nurse, Michelle, doing some study. A whistleblower lawsuit was filed with Superior Court. So this is a case that's kind of floating right now. This is going to be a tricky one. It'll probably get dropped because the pharmaceutical companies would like. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Fresno County can pull off in their Superior Court. We'll see. But this is an interesting case. We'll keep our eyes on that, hopefully. Trump looking at reclassifying marijuana as less dangerous drug, taking it to a Class C. That does a lot of things, too. We'll see. There's a lot of people that really don't like that a lot. And, I get it. But at the same time, most people are kind of cool with it. Mexican president rejects U.S. forces crossing border in Mexico fight. I feel like this is just blowing my mind. So the New York Times, once again, is saying that Scheinbaum has now responded to the fake story that the New York Times posted, that they had a secret meeting that Trump had and alleged people involved with it leaked information. Now the New York Times is claiming that Scheinbaum has responded. And she says the United States is not going to come to Mexico with the military. We cooperate, we collaborate, but there is not going to be an invasion. That is ruled out, absolutely ruled out. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's the same rag doing it, and it's all based off of allegeds, and we'll see. Maybe I'm the one with egg on my face at the end of this, and New York Times got it right. I don't know. This reeks of being bullshit. Reeks of it. It smell like stank. It must be stank. Canadians in Nova Scotia, they're now banned from going in public forests. They're worried about people starting fires, so now they're not allowed to go into the forest. Literally, a dude got fined $28,872. $28,872.50. Let's just friggin' say it correctly, but dude, for walking in the woods. Granted, I had a blowtorch and I was shooting things with it. I doubt it. That's not what happened, but most wildfires are caused by human activity, so to reduce the risk, we are keeping people out of the woods until conditions improve. Now, again, if they've got a homeless problem like we do here, it makes sense. But yeah, homeless people tend to start fires. It's unfortunate. Australia's left-wing government rushes to recognize the Palestinian state. This is another close group that China deep state controls to a large extent that is now going with this Palestinian thing that is definitely pissing off Trump. North Korea dismantling their loudspeakers at the border. That's kind of cool, right? No more Kiss late at night. Yeah. I wanted to say that Made for Loving You, that song. They were doing a talk to do with, I think, the long tongue or the big guy, whatever the big guy was pissed about that song because he said it was the bitchiness song. And he was giving all these props to it. And then he's like, and I get to see this part. He was so pissed. Like his whole part was lame. He didn't get to be a part of like the main part and really give it some love, really give it some of that energy he was fond of. Yeah, jacked up. So the possibility of New York suing or being sued, New York Times, I should say, that rag that just printed that other bullshit story, I think, for defamation. This is Netanyahu saying this, talking about suing them for defamation over the fake starving Gaza photo. This is the famous photo here. I can't click on it. So, yeah. Not cool. It's supposedly fake in the sense of it doesn't belong in this space-time, but I'm just not seeing a lot of positive information come out about the feeding. It's weird how the information of the good information's not even dripping through. Like nobody's out there with that. It's mostly just the bad information that comes out about Israel, and we're supposed to just constantly give benefit of the doubt. And it's like, why aren't you guys better, Israel, at messaging us and helping us understand what good you're doing while you're busy, leveling a place that used to belong to a group of people until what was it? What was the Belfort Accord? What is it? 1919 when it was first, but it was like signed like in the 50s or something. Whatever. I don't know. I'm bad with dates. But yeah, not been that long that we've essentially told this group of people there that like, yeah, so this isn't your land anymore. We took it from you. And I mean, that would piss off most. Right? So I don't know. I don't know how that all plays out in the big picture. And again, I know there's a lot of people that just say, no matter what, you have to support Israel. It's like, well, I don't no matter what anything, ever. No matter what, I will definitely not, no matter what. Like, I'm not black and white. I hate it. It bugs the shit out of me. Nothing's ever that pure in its ridiculousness. Perfect example. A lot of people would like to say Lindsey Graham's a good guy, but here he is. Just be like, literally IDF, literally Israeli Defense Forces. You guys are having a hard time with Gaza? Just go in and kill all them Hamas people, man. Kill them. Get it done with. He literally has some quotes in here. I can't believe there's even a debate about how to conduct a war against those who aim to wipe out the Israeli people. Enough already. Destroy Hamas. Do to Hamas what we did to the Germans and the Japanese during World War II. Annihilate them. Can you hear him screaming that like Adolf Hitler? It make me scratch my throat. But that, like just those veins sticking out. This dude's, and then the person that was going to run against him suddenly is like, yeah, no, so it's a better idea. I don't want to be divisive. I'm a butterfly. He didn't say the butterfly part, but I'm just, presuming. So you guys, you decide. 4 Al Jazeera journalists killed in a strike near Gaza cities. Israel's saying they were actual terrorists from, where was it? I think Iran. Israel Defense stated that al-Sharif was linked to the Hamas, so it's a Hamas thing. They were pretending to be journalists, and they killed them. I mean, again, Deep State does this. They hide behind hospitals. They do that. That's what they do. So they'll put on credentials so they are safe. You can't shoot me. I got a press badge. Like, watch. You like that? That was a high budget effect. I spent serious coin on that. This is fantastic and embarrassing and awesome. China's having a really hard time right now. I call it humble pie. That's what we eat here. These two Chinese ships, it's Chinese Coast Guard and Chinese Navy ships, messing with this Filipino Coast Guard ship over contested waters of China's that's really been Philippines for a long time and pretty close to the Philippine country, but China's like, F you, we don't like you. So they actually ran into each other hard, like did damage, like hit hard. From an angle somewhat, but kind of head-on-ish. Right into the side, right into the front. We're going to play it because I think it's pretty freaking crazy. What do you think about that? That's what I think. Oh, let's see what there's volume. If it's even worth a crap. Oops. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Hope I didn't lose it. There it is. We'll bring it back. Yeah, so, okay, I guess we're not going to have volume on this. So this guy's coming in. He wants to spray him. He's jamming, right? He's going fast. And then, bam, right into the side of this dude. Right into the side of him. There's another video I saw. I swapped it out with this one that showed it from the other angle. But yeah, this thing took a pretty serious hit. He probably fared better than the Coast Guard ship right on the bow like that. But yeah, not good. Not good. I don't know if that's something the Filipinos are doing to try to be cool. Yeah, look. Oh, damn. Dude, jacked it up. Look at that. Oh, wow. Hold on for one more day. Let's go back. Look at that. Dude, you got a big old hole in your boat. Boom. Damn. That's gonna, yeah, it left a mark. Someone say that's gonna leave a mark. Dude, it scratched its shit up on, oh, well, that guy can't be happy at all. He's still shooting water out, too. He's like, you guys can turn the water cannons off. We're sinking. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's awesome. So, yeah, Chinese ship ran into Chinese ship trying to mess with Filipino people. That's why you don't do that. They had that beautiful pancit and those lovely little egg roll things, lumpia. Delicious, one would say. What's this about? Oh, yeah, this bugs me. So GitHub CEO is going to step down. Microsoft owns GitHub. Microsoft's trying to get everybody to go to GitHub. GitHub is a place where everybody puts their code. It's, quote, secure, but, oh, man, this is almost so much code is available. It's kind of like giving the patent office key to somebody and be like, so just in case something, don't go in there, but, just in case something happens to me. You'd be like, all right, I won't ever go in there. There's no cameras. You say, oh, okay. Oh, have a nice day. I'm going to stay late. I got some stuff I had to finish. I don't trust it at all. I've worked with GitHub. I'm not saying they're a bad company, but I am saying that all the code exists in places that are saved and secured by passwords. They might have backends because, if maintenance needs to be done or somebody can't get in or something happens, then, well, of course, security safety, they would have to be able to help, right? Your tier 3 analyst would need to be able to get in there. China comes up with super steel for low temperature. Kind of interesting. Normally steel gets very, very brittle when it gets super cold. This is for steel for fusion reactors, and I guess they're going on the cold side of things. But it actually has an ability to handle the cooling with strength and pressure, I guess. We'll see. I don't necessarily always trust China's engineering. They do, good stuff. They come up with crazy new ideas, but they sometimes don't care about, like, safety as much as other people, because we get sued badly here. They don't have to worry about that. Oh, you killed 1,000 people? Yeah, we basically said oops, so that should count. As long as you say oops. Or oopsie, if you're a child, right? That's the favorite, like, uh-oh, that's the best one. The kids learn that one. Uh-oh, and you're like, oh, that can't be good. No matter what. That's the first word they learned was uh-oh. AOL, discontinuing dial-up after internet service after 40 years. Uh-oh, you're still on AOL, dial up, just in case when you get in. When you finally get connected and hear my show in snippets and bounces at 150 kilobits a second, Yeah, when it catches up, just understand you're running out of time. All said. A lot happening. A lot changing. I got some good music pulled, too, for this weekend. What is it? It's inspired by... Who the hell was it? It's inspired by the... down here. Jay Giles Band. Yeah. Cool music. Hardcore 80. Like 1980. Like almost a lot of this stuff was popular in 1980. It was just, for some reason, that was a year I picked just because one of the songs came out then. And then it was just like, what other cool stuff was out during that time? And there's some really good songs that you guys will be like, dude, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It's a nice little walk down the 1980 pathway. Some groove tune, some rockish tune mostly. I tried to stay away from all the love stuff for this point in time. Maybe we'll do a version of that coming up, but that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's going to be a good time this weekend. All said, I love you guys. This week should be saucy. I think the deep state's going to do everything they can to keep the war going in Ukraine, and Trump's going to try to stop it. And so we'll see how it plays out. A lot happening. Texas was kind of little news today. We'll see what comes up. I expect noise to be coming up from that too. All said, a lot of fun coming. Let's stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.